Hey, 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 welcome back. Welcome back to the Gemini channel. My name is Laura. If you're new to the channel, I'm going to do a general message for Gemini. Know that energy is fluid, roles could be reversed. Just interpret the message as it best resonates with you. Also know on this channel and all my channels, I like to dive deep within the reading. So we do look at everything, but we take more time to look at the spiritual blockages, the shadows, and see how they play as karmic themes to help you understand why everything's happening the way that it is. Because when we're dealing with karmics, they have a way of keeping us ruminating because they trigger us. So once you understand why the universe brought you this person, you're able to integrate the spiritual lesson and then transmute the negative energy, and that changes the entire dynamic of the connection. So, again, I look at everything, but it's really important when we're dealing with karmics to understand the whys, because, like I said, it saves you from dealing with a lot of negative karmic consequences, which happens when you're dealing with past life karmic mates a lot of times. All right. If you like the video, like, share, and subscribe. Keep the comments coming. I love it. And if you are connected to a Virgo or a Scorpio, check out my other channels. All important links are in the description box below. All right. The word of the video is apathy. Apathy. They're dealing with somebody you're in separation from someone that's acting like they don't care. That's if you were to stalk them, they would be looking like that they don't have a care in the world, but I feel like they do. So I don't think that this person's doing anything. So let's see what's going on with them right now as we speak. Like, what are they thinking? See, let's get an idea, and then we'll look at the other stuff. I'm tired of being away from you physically. I'm trying to process my fears so I can come back to you. So you're in separation from someone that is doing this, again, that wants to come back because they feel you pulling away and it's triggering their fears that you're going to leave them for good. So again, they're feeling you're disconnecting from them, and that's really scaring them a lot. See, this person realizes that you both project your patterns onto each other, and it makes it really difficult to see what's real and what's fear-based thinking. So I feel like you in separation from a person that got triggered by something that you said, and when they really took the time to think about it after they had their little temper tantrum and got angry. I feel like this person revisited what you had said, and what they realized is that they mistook what you said. I feel like they reacted from, a wound that they had. So that whatever you said, this person took it the wrong way, and then they disconnected, acted like they didn't care, and now what they're seeing is like however they, heard whatever they heard the wrong way. And now they know, like, you're like, you're not around. Why am I going to give you time? This person is accessing past life wisdom, and it's helping them to understand things with a new perspective. So I think that they are a past life karmic mate. Um, this person has been tempted to disconnect from source because the connection, your connection with them is reliant on that. It's a soulmate connection. It's a divine connection. So it's almost like this person knows that, again, this is a spiritual connection. You must be in their life for a reason. They feel the unconditional love. They feel that connection. They obviously wanted to walk away. It's been a hard connection. They can't, so they've come to the conclusion this is a spiritual connection, but there's part of them that's, again, doesn't really want to deal with it. They do get tempted to disconnect, and they know that you do too, But the truth of the matter is that this person is really feeling controlled by people around them, and it's pushing them to find their power again. So I feel like this person wants to have someone in their life. So maybe their family is like saying, well, you're not married, you don't have anyone, you can come this weekend, or you can do this chore or that chore, or an ex is still in their life and saying, well, you're not with anyone. So, when people that are in our lives, they perceive that we don't have things going on in our life, they start to give us things to do. And I feel like it's making this person like a little bit annoyed because they're like, well, why don't I have like anyone in my life? Maybe at one time they got their happiness from, doing for family and doing for friends, but now they're really seeing they don't really get anything in return for that from that. Not that we do things to get something in return, but if we are always doing for friends and family and they're never doing for you, it becomes expected. And that is what I feel like this person's at. They're like, I'm not really liking my life. It's like I got triggered by something that you said because of an old wound. But when this person looks at their own life, they don't like their life and they're changing this pattern and they're moving forward because they're like, why shouldn't I like my life? This person feels insecure and it's pushing them to grow. So part of the codependency to family and just whoever's in their life that's pretty much, saying, hey, you could do this, you could do that, and at one time this person got their emotional, happiness from, like I said, doing and giving because they didn't have anyone in their life. But like I said, they've realized that they haven't grown and, you know, they look around and see everybody else in a relationship and they want a relationship, and they want one with you because there's again this spiritual connection that I don't think that this person knows, but from a higher perspective, the divine, let's just say, is chiming in that's saying, well, you incarnated together to clear specific patterns from your ancestral bloodline. So, like I said, this is a very strong spiritual connection. Normally, this person would just have walked away. They would have said, "Well, screw it. I misinterpreted what that person said. Yeah, they were good looking. Yeah, they were nice, but I'm gonna walk away because this person's prideful. They wouldn't come back and, apologize. They're usually a loner. They're usually, again, they have their group of people that they give to, and they were mighty fine living that life. Now, all of a sudden, they're not okay with it. However, they still can't validate the love they have for you in the 3D until they understand the spiritual love in the 5D. Like this person doesn't has never had a relationship like this before. So it's all new. Like I said, normally this person would just walk away because they're used to being by themselves. They're used to not having anyone. Used to, I don't want to say a player, but like hooking up and having like not very deep relationships and been fine. This is a spiritual connection that they don't really understand and they're still like afraid of it. And I say that because really, when we're in a spiritual connection with someone that there's unconditional love, we don't have to figure out the spiritual element of it. It's like that happens as you're actually in a relationship. The person wants to figure out the spiritual element of it because they're like, they don't really trust relationships. So they're like, will you like get over on me somehow? Like, I don't really understand how this works. Like, what are you doing? All they know is that they have very strong feelings for you, that you are my true love and my heart and my soul. Like, again, that there's very strong feelings for you. And this person like has never had that type of connection before. They want to figure it out. They wish that they could actually express themselves to you, but they're not comfortable with themselves. Again, they're insecure. So again, like it's saying, we must remember that we are gods and goddesses and work to embody that energy. So right now, this person is trying not to give into fear because they know that it's an illusion. And again, the universe has a big hand in this connection because again, there are messages being exchanged through music and movies. Listen carefully and trust what you hear. So this person has you on their mind a lot. It's like they don't really know how to come back, but they realize again that they want to come back. And just like I said, because you're pulling away, they know like how long can you stay in separation and not give anything, you know, like especially they should have really came back and apologized a long time ago, I feel like, but they didn't want to do that. You are always on my mind, of course. I was pretending to be someone else, again, acting like they didn't care. This person misses you and they feel like you're their twin flame. So that's the thing. This person, like, is realizing that they're going to come, is realizing who you are. And I feel like it's because you didn't come back. You know, like I said, when this person got triggered by whatever you said, you didn't come back and try to explain yourself. You didn't chase it. You let this person like sit and ruminate, like you let them go. And I feel like this person tends to have like commitment issues. And but by you being like, oh, I don't really care, I'm going to let it go, it allowed them to figure out exactly what they wanted on their own and look at their life again and realize that you really are like one of the best things in this person's life, you know, and that's the thing. And that they're really attracted to you. And I'm just pulling random cards to see is it the same? And it is. This person really does want to come back. They really do care. So you have to say, why did you attract this person into your life? Because you're a mirror of who and what comes into your life. And being it's a collective reading, I feel like some of you will take this person back, some of you guys won't take this person back. Um, like I feel like you still feel this person even though you guys are apart. And if it's a real soulmate twin flame connection, you would. Um, and that there's a part of you that can't stop thinking about this person either, the person in this story anyway. So I feel like you knew that this person would always come back, but you weren't going to come back to them if they didn't come and apologize to you. They need to come in correct or don't come in at all. And it looks like they're going to do that. Okay. So again, why did you attract this person into your life? We always look at the inner child wounds so that you can see what was fragmented. So the first card out is frustration. Second card out is trauma. Third card out is misunderstood. Physical touch, friendship, self-sabotage, overwhelmed. So those are the inner child wound cards. So whenever I see self-sabotage, it's like there's a feeling of not deserving. And that happens if there's trauma and was trauma growing up. And emotionally, you didn't get that love and that nurturing that you needed. And then I feel like life obviously was very overwhelming. When you don't get support and you have trauma as a kid and there's sabotaging behaviors, which means you overgive, you overdo. And I feel like whatever trauma you grew up with, you took that out, the same habits, same behaviorisms with friends. So we see this as a friend, like in this friend. And it's so not really a friend, more like a friend of me. And here it is, emotionally, you didn't get. So you are with someone that overgives emotionally, like making sure that everyone is okay on an emotional level. If it's their birthday, you're going to make sure. If it's whatever it is, you are always putting other people, like you're always putting other people first and you're always putting yourself in their shoes. And so that got you people that didn't really honor you, meaning like because you never made them get to know you, you just so loving and caring and just went in and treated people the way you wanted to be treated because emotionally you didn't get what you needed. So you were like, being that I didn't get what I needed, I'm going to make sure that I give it to other people, then other people will give it back to me. And that's not what happened. What happened is that when you give of yourself so freely, without people having to work for it per se, meaning it takes time, time for relationships take time. And, you didn't give it time. You just came in and was so loving and giving, they actually disrespected you. They treated you like you weren't as important. You got the same emotion that you got growing up, which was emotionally you didn't get anything. And that was the trauma. And there's the trauma when you are giving so much of yourself, like to family and to friends, and when you're emotionally not getting back in return, it's traumatizing and it's overwhelming because there's always a sense of, I can't trust anyone to treat me the way that I treat them. So there's expectation of that because you're like, well, it says treat people the way that you want to be treated. I do. And what happens is that people, take advantage. It's like I'm misunderstood, like I'm the one that's being manipulating, or that I'm a bad person when meanwhile I'm going out of my way, to make sure that everyone's okay, that that everyone is being treated fairly, but no one ever made sure that I am. No one cares about my feelings. So it becomes like a one-sided thing where life becomes really frustrating because that trauma is continually lived, whether it was within your family, now within friends, and now passed on in relationships where you're like, all I am is nice. I treat people the way I want to be treated. And in the beginning, it seemed the relationship's okay, and then all of a sudden it doesn't go okay. And then it bleeds into not just those intimate connections, but actually friendships and other people, because again, you're doing the same thing, going in and being hyper aware of what everyone else needs, but not hyper aware of your own needs. So you're not paying attention that you're teaching people that you don't matter because you're not showing them how to treat you because you're not treating yourself, you're treating everybody else. So in hopes that those people will treat you good. And that's what the sabotaging behaviorism is. And so again, that's why I think you had went through this so much in childhood that you were like, I don't care that you misunderstood what I said. I'm not going to clarify what I said. I'm not going to make you be my friend. I'm not going to try to re-explain myself. I don't care. Whatever you think, you'll come to your own decision, and either you'll come back or you won't. But I will not be, clarifying what I said, or, trying to make you feel better. You got mad, you got triggered. I don't care. There wasn't anything that I said that should have triggered you. You took out on me what somebody else deserves, and you knew that, and that was true, and that's what this person saw, but they didn't apologize. And part of that is because I don't think that they knew what they wanted. They needed for you to really cut your energy off for them to be like, you know what, I really like miss you or really know that you're my person because I still care. Like normally I wouldn't care. I would be reacting and I wouldn't care. Like, but that this person actually does care. And so Spirit leaves it off with one more, which is action, which is exactly what this person's going to take. And what you need to do is take action too. And that's your divine action ignites love and harmony. You are aware of your thoughts and are driven by positive forces. Listen to your heart, your desires to manifest light, transform tests into growth, challenges into opportunity, and fear into love. And that's kind of like this person coming back, and actually they are listening to their heart. And, the test really was, are you going to apologize? Are you going to surrender your ego? Or are you going to let a good thing leave your life? And this person like feels you leaving them behind. They're like, you're not going to leave my life. And I think for you, It's, are you going to forgive this person? You still have feelings, or are you going to cut your nose off to spite your face? And Spirit says it's all about, again, turning fear into love. And that's how you'll get your emotional, support by, doing that. Oop, 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 oop. And by doing that, but then, you know, in the meantime, you need to still heal yourself, meaning like this person comes back in the divine timing when they take action, but you're not supposed to be sitting around waiting for this person. You're supposed to be transmuting the negative energy, such as Spirit says now, nurture the light within you to guide you in dark times, to keep hope alive. So when you nurture the light inside of you, what you're doing is you're feeding your talents, your hobbies, things that are emotionally going to fulfill you. So hang out with friends. If you want to take a class, if you want to, again, go out and explore something, now's the time to do it. Go out into uncharted waters, evoke your curiosity to discover new aspects of life, is what Spirit's saying. Why, again, you get a better understanding of what you like and what you don't like. And Spirit says, know that you again have displayed fierce strength, because this is a very divine connection. However, unless this person would come back treating you the way that you deserved, you aren't going to be in this person's life. So it was all about seeing beyond the illusion, believing and having unshakable faith, even though, like you didn't see the path, but there was a knowing of brighter horizons. And those brighter horizons is that you're making it happen. Because, like I said, you're like, I don't care whether you come back into my life or not. Either you're going to come back in correct or not. But either way, you're going into your life. There's other opportunities for you. It's all about seeing your genius and how strong and how powerful you are, that you have limitless potential. So break the chains of limitation, and really it's time to like live your truth, live out loud. This is your time to step into who you truly are. This person has feelings for you. Well, guess what? They're going to mirror your energy. They're going to come into your life when they are at their divine, you know, balance, the way that they're when they're stepped into their best self. The way that Spirit says right now, it's about you stepping into your best self by seeing, the endless possibilities, by embracing those opportunities, by going into uncharted waters, by seeing yourself for who you are today and letting go of the past, so that when this person comes back, you'll be ready. You'll both be together in the divine time, in the right time, is what Spirit says. It's that this person's coming back, but it's about when we are stepping into a twin flame type of connection, we are not 100% healed, but it's that we have done a lot of work on our own. Now the person comes back in the right time, and it's usually to create something together, to birth something together, because there's other spiritual, you know, lessons that you would need to learn that you can't learn on your own. And it's because you grew up in an environment where it was toxic and codependent, and there were imbalances there. So the universe has orchestrated this connection to help both of you really come in at divine time to heal, to grow, and to really just learn what unconditional love is, and that it's really not it's it's not an easy connection, but again, it's one that there's so much love that you can't walk away from. Like this person, they couldn't walk away. They would have walked away, but they just couldn't, because it's a divine connection, and it's made to help you heal and transmute those stubborn blocks that were formed in childhood and played out in your life as karmic themes, and have really kept you both stuck in a place of, limitation, feeling not enough. And that's why the first trigger is always like, again, one of the hardest wounds where I believe that this person leaving and acting like they didn't care definitely triggered abandonment. So seeing this person come back and being different is going to be very healing. I'm going to leave that there, Gemini. Let me know how you resonated, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.